Welcome to your Launch Your Club training for 6th to 12th grade clubs. Today we'll be leading you through the webinar and we'll provide you everything you need to know to run your club. And these slides and a recording of this presentation after today will be available on Girls Who Code HQ. So before we begin, we want to acknowledge the very uncertain times we're currently living in. And we recognize that many people and institutions are facing great changes to how they connect and learn together. As we prepare to help students thrive in new environments, Girls Who Code has added options to help your club adapt and continue to explore coding. Throughout this training, I'll call out guidance around virtual facilitation, asynchronous structures, and unplugged activities. We hope we've structured our meeting guide so you can follow along with minimal changes, but if you ever feel the need to make an adjustment, know that GWC is extremely supportive of you making the best choice for your club members. So with that, let's take a look at our agenda. I'll start by providing a brief overview of Girls Who Code and our 6th to 12th grade club program, including the program model, curriculum, and the tools we provide. Next, I'll walk you through the decisions you need to make before your first session. And finally, we'll review key resources in Girls Who Code HQ and how to stay in touch with our team for support. We'll end with a live Q&A, so if you have any questions throughout the presentation, please go ahead and add them to the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Before we begin, here are the 3 things you need to do to get started with your club. We'll be covering a lot of information in this webinar, but I want to highlight the most important things first. You'll need to log on to Girls Who Code HQ to ensure you have access to the materials to run your club. We recommend bookmarking this link and saving your login info to make accessing your account a breeze. Second, you'll select which of our 2 club models best fits your club's needs. Our standard model is for clubs who meet fully synchronously, either in person or online, and our hybrid model incorporates asynchronous activities if your club needs shorter live sessions. Finally, you'll want to recruit participants to join your club. It can also be helpful to have a second or third set of hands, so if you'd like additional volunteers to help you facilitate, now is a great time to identify them. So now I'd like to provide an overview of our 6th to 12th grade clubs model, which educates, equips, and inspires girls with the computing skills they need to pursue 21st century opportunities. Our clubs allow both students and teachers with any level of experience to start learning computer science. Clubs are hosted by nonprofit organizations and provide leveled resources to meet students' diverse needs and interests. Just last year, we had over 10,000 clubs. And after members graduate from their clubs, they can tap into our alumni network to unlock exclusive opportunities when they're older. To make this happen, we use the following 3 pillars in our educational philosophy. The first is more than code. We're not only teaching students how to program, we're teaching them computational thinking, how to break down problems and think creatively. And these are helpful skills to have in any profession. Coding helps build a culture of bravery, resilience, and curiosity, and we support and encourage club members to take new risks and learn new skills. The second pillar is sisterhood. We want to show girls that they belong by showing them role models of women in tech who are doing inspiring and cool things and learning in a supportive environment like a school, library, or community space. Girls learn and grow together and ultimately stick with coding in the future. And of course, we want girls to experience our third pillar, the real-world relevance and impact of their coding. We aim to show girls that they can use CS to change the world and can apply these skills to any area of their lives, no matter what they want to accomplish when they grow up. Throughout the club's experience, girls learn both CS and interpersonal skills by working in small groups and independently to build projects related to a topic that's important to them. And here's what that looks like in action. Each individual club meeting consists of 3 main chunks. You'll start by building community with a sisterhood activity for club members to get to know each other. In the Women in Tech Spotlights, girls will explore bravery, resilience, creativity, and purpose through real-life examples of computer scientists. Afterwards, for about 40 or more minutes, girls will work through GWC project tutorials to create their Girls Who Code project. Throughout the club, they'll hone their coding skills in programming languages like Scratch, Python, JavaScript, or Swift from Apple. Whether they're interested in creating a virtual assistant, animations, or games, girls have their choice of programming languages. And through these tutorials, we guide girls to think about what they want to create as their Girls Who Code project. What kinds of things they like to do outside of coding that they can incorporate into their projects, and what language they're interested in practicing. Each meeting ends with a stand-up, where club members develop a growth mindset by reflecting and sharing their work thus far, receiving feedback and asking questions. Each component can be run in person or virtually. We allow you the flexibility to run portions of your meeting synchronously as a group or asynchronously outside of your club's meeting time. In our standard model, your club will run synchronously. Whether you're meeting in person or online, you'll complete each activity of the club meeting together as a group. Your sisterhood activity, Women in Tech Spotlight, project tutorial working time, and a stand-up. Our hybrid model allows you to use your club's meeting time synchronously, focusing on a few activities, and encouraging your club members to explore the coding project tutorials on their own time or asynchronously. In addition to detailed meeting guides for our standard and hybrid models, we provide you with many resources and tips to ensure you can successfully run your club. From your club's logistics, accessing CS resources, and important community building opportunities, we're here each step of the way to answer all of your questions, however big or small. We'll also connect you with opportunities to participate in virtual events, like this one, panels with veteran GWC facilitators who you can get advice from, and more. And of course, our clubs can't run without you. The facilitator is a unique part of the club experience. Think of a facilitator as part teacher role model and part project manager. You're there to help keep girls on track to complete their project, and you'll be their biggest advocate along the way. Now, more than ever, as extracurricular activities may seem like less of a priority, your perseverance to run your club will set an example for your club members to keep going. The girls in your club will look to you as a model to model a safe, fun environment where they're free to take risks, get comfortable with failure and perseverance, and explore their interests. Remember, a computer science background is not required for our facilitators, as you'll be able to learn CS alongside the girls in your club. What's most important is getting familiar with the lessons before a meeting, setting the right tone, and having fun. So now that you have a sense of how clubs can run, let's go over how to get yours started. Here's that handy list to help you get ready. Save your HQ info to access everything you need when you need it. Decide if the standard or hybrid model will work best for your club. And grow your club with members and facilitators. Here are a couple of guiding questions to help you decide which club model will work best for you. If you anticipate having an hour or more, reliable internet access for all members, collaborative working styles, or an interest in supporting your club members while they work through their tutorials, you may like using a standard model. If you have less time available, know some students may have limited internet access, have more independent personalities, or would like to spend time building community, the hybrid model may suit your club's needs. You can find these guiding questions in the Prepare to Launch Your Club activity in your Facilitator Toolkit, also linked here on this slide. As a reminder, both meeting models can be done in person or virtually. The standard model will allow you more group time with your club, while the hybrid model lets you adapt the meeting to a condensed format and gives your club members independent tutorial time. Once you've landed on your club's meeting model, there are a few more decisions you'll make to set up your first club meeting. choosing a day and a time to meet regularly that works for your club members, where you'll meet, in person or online, and the best way to stay in touch with everyone will help get everyone excited about your first meeting. Lastly, if your initial start date has changed since you first completed the application, let our team know so we can better support your club. You can check out the Plan Your Club checklist in your toolkit to review all of these questions. After you've made your club's key setup decisions, let's talk about how you can navigate hq.girlswhocode.com to find resources, register and view club members, add additional facilitators, and stay in touch with our team. HQ is where the club happens. You and your club members will have access to the same guides and instructions, and they can access it 24/7. So in addition to keeping everyone on the same page, it can support their learning outside of your club sessions. When you sign into HQ, your homepage will have links to all the programs you're connected to. If you facilitate more than one club, you will see separate boxes linking each of them. If you've run clubs in the previous years, you'll see them listed as completed programs. The sidebar allows you to move between different pages and activities with ease. The top section will show you which club page you're on. Below that, in blue, you'll see options to get club information and manage your club's members. The Join New button allows you to join a club as a member, not a facilitator. This is primarily used by students joining a new club for a summer or spring session, for example. I'll talk you through adding additional volunteers in an upcoming slide. The last tab in blue is an Announcements button, which serves as a message board for your club's members, where you can provide updates to members and other facilitators. Below that are tools to help you run your club. Your Facilitator Toolkit, meeting guides for standard and hybrid models, GWC project tutorials, Women in Tech spotlights, sisterhood activities, and Girls Who Code at Home activities. The Facilitator Toolkit will support you in preparing, running, and wrapping up your club for each session. It provides access to checklists, training videos, newsletters, and prep guides for your club year. Your club members cannot see the materials in the Facilitator Toolkit, making it a place just for you to plan and prepare. We encourage you to take a look at what's available in the toolkit before you get started with your club. All other activities in HQ are visible to club members and facilitators alike. The written instructions are intended for students, so they can follow along with you or independently. Keep a lookout for the facilitator note boxes in the sisterhood activities, Women in Tech spotlights, and tutorial steps. This is where you'll find recommendations for you and other volunteers to successfully run each activity, virtually or in person. For a thorough walkthrough of meeting guides and GWC project tutorials, check out these slides available in your Facilitator Toolkit after today's presentation. Now, let's take a look at what it looks like for a student to register on HQ. First, they'll enter the country they live in and their birthday. Make sure they click on United States from the drop-down that appears below the text field to ensure they correctly create their account to join your club. Then, they should click on I want to join a club as a club member. They'll then click Continue, and the student will enter an email address. The student will make up a password that meets the required criteria. And finally, they enter their first and last name. Once they agree to the terms and privacy policy, they can click Continue. And now it's time for the parents' information. This is where they can enter their parents' first name, last name, email address, phone number, and finally, relationship to the participant. There is an option to enter another parent or guardian at this time. And afterwards, they'll click Continue. There, they'll join your club. This is where you will have provided the students with your 2020-2021 club code, and it will be entered here. One thing to keep in mind, some girls might come to the club without their own personal email address. They can use a school student or a parent guardian's email. Or you can carve out some time during your first meeting to help them create one, but make sure to get parent permission beforehand. If you or your girls have any issues logging onto HQ, you can email us at clubs@girlswhocode.com. To help you keep track of club members who have successfully registered using your club code, check out the blue Members button in the left-hand navigation. There, you'll also be able to help any members who need help resetting their password or removing any duplicates if someone signs up twice on accident. On that same page, you can invite members directly from HQ. Scroll down to the Invitations section and click on the teal Invite button. There, you can enter your student's email and full name. Once they've registered with your club, the invite will change from pending to accepted. This should help you keep an eye on any interested students as you get set up for your club's meetings. If you're interested in having an additional volunteer to help you run the club, you'll need to make sure they join HQ as a facilitator and not a club member. We require all club facilitators to be 18 years or older and that they pass a background check if they're not employed by the club's host organization. Please follow these steps to make sure you're adding facilitators as required. Direct your new facilitator to create an account on hq.girlswhocode.com and make sure they select I want to start a club or I want to volunteer for a club on the first sign-up page. Once they've created an HQ user profile, share your 2020-2021 club code with them. Direct them to the GWC Club application linked here, and you can also access the application on your HQ homepage from the teal Apply button. On the first page, they'll select the option, I have been invited to facilitate a 2020-21 club, and I have a club code. And they'll enter the club code you provided, as the screenshot here shows. They then complete a short application, and once we received it and reviewed their past background check, they'll be added to your club. They'll receive access to HQ and all club materials, including the Facilitator Toolkit. We understand finding club members and facilitators can take a lot of work, so we're here to help you find what works best for you. For example, emailing students individually to the club because you believe they're a great fit has helped other facilitators really boost their numbers. Or if you have a network of parents looking for programs for their children, letting them know about your club can also help ensure they sign up. You might find your host site has resources to help you find additional volunteers to run the club. Hosting a virtual or in-person info session can help answer community questions and drum up excitement. We also encourage you to get creative with your outreach. Social media posts or newsletters can go a long way in spreading the word. Your Facilitator Toolkit includes flyers, sample info sessions, and more tips like these. We know how important staying in touch is when you have questions, need help, or just some inspiration. Our team will keep up in touch with you through email support from clubs@girlswhocode.com and our club success specialist, cc@girlswhocode.com. Make sure you add these two emails as safe senders in your inbox so you never miss an update. We'll check in periodically as your club makes its way through each meeting. And each month, we put together a facilitator newsletter just for you. Here, we'll share tips and updates on HQ, resources from our partners that you can access, and we'll spotlight a GWC club that's changing the world. Most importantly, we want to hear from you. We know that plans change, so if your club is getting started later than anticipated, let us know when to check back in with you. We'd also love to hear whether you've decided to run your meetings with our standard or hybrid models and how it's working out for your club. And of course, we want to celebrate each milestone of your club. Whether you've just gotten 10 new members, you've landed on a GWC project idea, or you're excited about tackling a new coding language, we want to hear about it. And here's just one example of that. Meet the Rec Center 6th to 12th grade coding club. Their facilitator, Angel, shared with us this awesome highlight of her club. As you can see, meeting virtually allowed her club to continue running and keep her girls actively thinking about their project, and stay connected during these tough times. Stay in touch with us and you could be our next spotlight. So to end the session, we'd like to take a few minutes to answer the questions you may have. I'll be handing it over to my colleague, Chrissy. Please enter all of your questions in the Q&A box in the Zoom chat box.
Hey everyone, so I have been typing out answers to the Q&A. I will continue to do so. One of the questions that we've gotten a few times is around preferred video conferencing platform. So Girls Who Code is not partnered with any specific video conferencing provider like Zoom or Google Hangouts. We recommend that you use whatever system your local school district or the majority of your club members are using for virtual learning. If you're in person, obviously this isn't a concern, or if not everyone has moved to virtual learning, we recommend just polling your users before the first meeting that you have. I will say that Zoom and Google Hangouts are two of the most popular options, but we don't have a partnership specifically with a platform. There were also a couple questions about adding additional facilitators since we covered that. And I will say there is no upper limit on how many people you can add. We recommend that once you have more than 20 club members, it's great to have 2 facilitators. So a ratio of 1 facilitator to 10 members is really great, but even sometimes if you only have 3 or 4 members, it can be really helpful to have someone else to, share the scheduling with and help you follow along and prepare for the activities. Other questions about some things being provided. So unfortunately, due to some budgetary changes in the wake of COVID-19, we at this time in the fall will not be running our Clubs Fund program or offering t-shirts. We do still have plenty of t-shirts available for purchase on our Girls Who Code store. And we'll also be offering some giveaways for engagement or enrollment. They just might not be as large scale as the Clubs Fund program. Looking through a couple other things. So the materials that we have available on HQ that Claudia walked through are the same for club members and facilitators. The things that you can see as a facilitator that your club members cannot are the facilitator toolkit. So that will not appear on your club members sidebar. And any facilitator notes that appear as little boxes within the activities, those will also not be visible to your club members. Claudia, is there anything else? I'm going to try and type out as many responses as I can in the next 2 to 3 minutes. Anything that we don't get to, we will follow up via email. So I'll answer what I can here, and then I'll leave it to Claudia to close us out, and we'll capture anything else that we might have missed in a follow-up email.
Awesome, thanks, Chrissy. So just really quickly, I'd like to direct folks to the chat. I'm going to go ahead and send you a link to our webinar survey. Please go ahead and let us know if this information was helpful to you, and any future webinars that you'd like to see. Your feedback is invaluable to us. So we'd love to hear from you, and you should also receive the link at the end of this webinar. So just want to thank you all so much for joining us today. If you have any further questions that we weren't able to address today or you weren't able to ask today, You can always contact us at clubs@girlswhocode.com and we'll get those questions answered. We wish you the absolute best of luck running your club, and we look forward to hearing the amazing stories about your clubs this year. So please do keep in touch with us.